Yes, sir. All right. Running a little late here, guys, so I apologize for that. But I'm here, and better late than never. You see the thumbnail, you see the title, you know what we're talking about tonight. In case you haven't heard, LeBron James Jr., aka Bronny, has been drafted the number 55th pick to the Lakers, which means that Bronny is making history or will make history in this fall when he and his father are the first father-son duo who play in the league at the same time on the same team. So it's going to be very exciting in this August or this fall. Now a lot of people are giving Bronny a hard time. They're saying, he didn't have the experience. He didn't perform well in college his rookie year or his freshman year in college. He didn't perform well. I think he averaged about 5 points, like 3 assists. He didn't do outstanding his first year in college, but already they're drafting him straight to the league. People are calling it nepotism, right? Some people are hating on it. So tonight we're going to break down this topic. Black nepotism. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What's going on? What's going on? Now, one guy I don't particularly like is this guy by the name of Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is always ready to trash the black community, talk down to the black community, yelling at us, not to us, talking at us, not to us. But even a broken clock is right twice a day. Right? I saw this clip, and I haven't seen the whole of it, but I like where he was starting off at. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We're going to break down this clip of what Stephen A. had to say. Of course, we're going to break down some articles as well. I've got some clips for us to review. But first, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. And if it's your first time watching, be sure to smash the subscribe button for content just like this. Without any further ado, let's get into this video. Check out what Stephen A. Smith had to say on the draft between the Lakers drafting Bronny James 55th pick. Check this out.
We live in a country where nepotism has taken place with white folks religiously forever. We've said little to nothing about it. In the NBA specifically, in a league where at least 70% of the players are black, we've seen nepotism with white folks all over the place. Ownership, executive ranks, player personnel, scouting, coaching. The list goes on and on. Yep. We've said little to nothing about it. And now this happens with LeBron James, a member of the Mount Rushmore of basketball. And all of a sudden, you've got people running their mouths. LeBron James is approaching 40 years of age.
Right. He didn't have to re-sign this contract. LeBron James just recently re-signed his contract for a 2-year option, 100 million. 2-year contract for 100 million. The man is pushing 40. He needs some incentive to keep this thing going. He already won a championship for the Lakers in 2020. At this point, what is he playing for? A large part of it because LeBron James, for years, since Bronny James, Bron Jr. was a child, LeBron James has been saying, my dream one day is to play with my son on the league. I want my son to go to the league. I want my son to play with me on the same team in the league. For decades, for over a decade now, since LeBron James Jr. was a child, LeBron James has gone on record saying he wants to play on the same team as his son. So people are giving Bronny a hard time saying, oh, he didn't deserve it. But what about LeBron? LeBron deserved it. LeBron is the one who put in all those years beyond what was needed, given championships to 3 different teams on 2 different coasts. He's given a lot to the league. He could retire with dignity. He's already hands down a Hall of Famer. It's not too much to ask. He just signed a new contract. How do we know? How do we know as a fan, as a watcher, as a basketball fan, a spectator, what was in LeBron James' contract when he just re-signed in 2024? We don't know. He could have had a sub clause in his contract. People have freedom of contract. He could have put his sub clause in his contract to look out for his son if his son is available and eligible. So y'all are giving Bronny a hard time, saying Bronny didn't earn it. Fine, but what about LeBron? I think we can all say LeBron has earned it. But let's hear a little bit more of what Stephen A. has to say.
He ain't somebody that faded into the twilight. He's still an all-world player. LeBron James, if LeBron James was on the New York Knicks now, you trying to tell me the New York Knicks wouldn't be one of the favorites to win the chip? Right now, approaching age 40. So to be in Los Angeles, to still be box office, to still be the magnifying talent that he is, yes, he has manipulated the proceedings. So
As he should. As he should. This is called a win-win situation from a basketball business standpoint. Why would the Lakers not want to benefit from having if not the one of the best players in the league today, all-time highest scorer? Why would you not want to benefit from having the fanfare, people having conversation, the eyes and attention on your team as a business from drafting the best player's son? You know that's going to bring spectators. People are going to want to see history be made. Watch LeBron and his son play on the same team at the same time. That's history. You know how much money that type of thing will generate for the team and for the company and for the city? It's not like, oh, this is just him being selfish and just no, this is business. This is business. This is business. The Lakers want this just as much as LeBron do. This is a win-win. This is called a win-win scenario. So LeBron would be a fool not to take advantage of that situation. And as a matter of fact, it's something that we need to normalize. I'm going to break that down in a bit. We got to normalize black nepotism. That's a beautiful thing. Let's finish a little bit more of this.
somewhat. We get that. Bronny James would not be on an NBA roster if it were not for LeBron James. He would not have gotten drafted in all likelihood yesterday if it were not for LeBron James. We all know this. We accept it. The issue is the resentment that's emanating from people out there. How dare you resent LeBron James? And if you're LeBron James, be mindful. See, now you're going to hear people book it. Book it. This is my expertise, media. I'm telling you what I know. Book this. In the days and the weeks to come, we're going to bring up how he took his talents to South Beach. We're going to bring up how he went back to Cleveland. We're going to bring up how he once held free agency hostage. You're going to hear all of these things along the way because it's a resentment of power.
The resentment of power. That's enough from this guy. That's enough from this guy. But I had to give him. I had to give him his credit. I had to give him his credit when he gets something right. You got to give him credit. Credit where credit is due. Now, usually Stephen A. is way off the mark, but hey, you got this one right. LeBron is making the right decision, and people are over here hating on him. People are over here hating on him. Let me explain to you why people are hating on him. This is the image of black success. This is the image of black success. No major scandals around LeBron James. The man is married, family man to his high school sweetheart, Savannah James. 3 kids in his all black family. Foundational black American family. People will look for any reason to tear that down. When I say black nepotism is a beautiful thing, Bronny's name is Junior. LeBron James Jr. Me, I'm the 5th. I'm the 5th, and my son is the 6th. So when you talk about black nepotism, I'm working my butt off trying to live black nepotism, trying to give something to my son and the next generation. As you should. Only in America, with speaking on foundational black Americans, can someone be shamed for trying to better their family and get and get their family a job, get their sons a job. Fathers getting their sons a job, and people are hating on that. Only in Black America, as Stephen A. Smith said they've been having white nepotism, Jewish nepotism within the league. What about ownership, team owners, managers, coaches? You telling me that there's no pushback, there's no fanfare, no one's shaming those folks for passing down ownership of teams and keeping that in the family? LeBron James was able to raise an athlete who qualified for USC. He was able to bring hundreds of millions, forget that, billions of dollars throughout his career to the league, winning championships for three different teams in three different cities. Y'all are trying to say Bronny doesn't deserve it, but what about LeBron James? What does he deserve? Winning in Cleveland, winning in Miami, winning in LA. If he wants to put in his a clause in his contract saying I want a job for my son if he is and free, eligible and available, as far as I'm concerned, that's freedom of contract. That's a win-win situation. But as I said, only black folks, only foundational black Americans get shamed for trying to help for fathers helping out their sons. I can't name you another example from any other race of a father getting shamed or the son getting shamed for benefiting from the father. Because that's what I'm working on my family for. What are you working in your family for? If not to put your family in a better situation. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. LeBron could have retired years ago. He already won a championship in 2020. His last championship in 2020. What's his motivation at this point? The man's pushing 40. He's got a son who survived getting that jab in 2020. Oh yeah, I can't say that. That's a joke, YouTube. That's a joke, YouTube. That's a joke, YouTube. Seriously, the man had to get heart surgery, having cardiac cardiac episodes after getting that jab, that mandated jab. You know, in 2020 they were mandating all student athletes get stuck, right? Okay, I'm not saying one has to do with the other, but all the time are young, teenage, healthy athletes having cardiac episodes on the field and on the court as they were in 2020 and 2021, 2021 and 2022. Yeah, that's just common. Young, teenage, early 20 athletes all the time. That's common. Listen, pretty obvious to me. The man's lucky to be alive. The man's lucky to be alive, and the league is lucky not to get sued, mandating mandating that their students. I'm talking about the NCAA. The NCAA could get sued, mandating that people take experimental medications. I say it's IIED, intentional infliction of emotional distress. It's negligent, mandating that people take an experimental drug and this has actually caused harm. When it's clear, and it was clear at the time, that the chances of even a player getting infected, becoming seriously ill or dying is lower. Well, I can't say it was lower because the medication was experimental. They didn't do any tests to see. Listen, this isn't about that. Let me digress. I'm just saying I'm happy for LeBron and I'm happy for Bronny. We need more images like this. We need more images like this. And I don't know when it became cool to shame legacy. When it became cool to shame somebody looking out for their sons and for their families. I've never heard somebody get shamed. Matter of fact, I've never heard the word nepotism until it comes to black people. I can't. I'm trying to think. You've got John F. Kennedy right now running for president of office, and in every interview that he goes on, he's talking about how his uncle was the president, the great JFK, not John F. K. RFK is running for president. Robert F. Kennedy is running for president. And every interview he goes on, he's talking about how my uncle was JFK and my uncle knew about the Cuban Missile Crisis. My uncle, he was smart. He kept us out of wars. Good. But nobody says, oh, that's nepotism. You're just trying to benefit from the Kennedy name, right? Think about all the places, all the connections he got through his family. No one says, "Oh, you're only politically active, you're only politically connected because of your family." Donald Trump got a multi-million-dollar loan from his father. Nobody says, "Oh, Donald Trump's only rich because of nepotism." No, they say he's Donald Trump. He's successful in his own right, based on what he does with the chance he's given. And I say it's a little too soon. It's a little too soon for y'all to assume that Bronny's going to be unsuccessful, that he's in over his league, in out of his league. Yeah, he had a rough summer league, but we'll see. Let's give the man some credit and some support. Well, all right. As always, guys, this is a sponsored video.
Introducing a fresh
Hold on.
new.
This is a sponsored video, so I give a quick salute to the sponsors of this video. We have a sickle cell PSA, which we are educating and informing our audience about sickle cell. So y'all check this out, and I'll be back in a bit.
Previously, sickle cell patients were answering the question, why do you drink? Responses included to avoid depression, to escape racial bias from caregivers, and to combat loneliness.
You all had very good responses. I try to remember that alcohol is at best a short-term fix in search of a long-term solution.
For me, it's either drink or drug. Managing my chronic pain may include the use of high-dose opioids, which increases the risk of opioid dependency or possible opioid abuse. Unfortunately, alcohol can run the same risk, but feels safer and is more acceptable.
Bettering the sickle cell community in the long term requires improving healthcare access, providing economic support, combating societal stigmas, and educating healthcare providers to ensure unbiased care. Cultural competency courses should be required of all sickle cell caregivers. It takes a team of committed, qualified healthcare providers, as well as advocacy groups and community and government agencies in exploring alternative pain management, offering essential mental health support, enhancing easier access to employment opportunities, and advocating for insurance reforms. We are not there yet, but let's be committed to moving the needle for change.
Boom! Brr, 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 brr. Brr, 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 brr. So that was our sickle cell PSA commercial V. So we're running through this playlist right here. Appreciate everyone rocking with us tonight. And guys, so another name that just came to my head as far as nepotism is the Joe and Hunter Biden situation. And I might have to make a follow up video on that topic in and of itself. You know, when I think about the reason we're spending billions of dollars in Ukraine right now, hundreds of billions of dollars in Ukraine for a war that we are destined to lose, a large part of it, I believe, is tied to the fact that Hunter and Joe Biden were making corrupt dealings with Ukraine prior to his election. When Joe Biden was when Joe Biden was vice president, Hunter Biden was over there in Ukraine on the board of the energy company getting paid millions for a job that he was not qualified to do. He was making deals as a liaison between Joe Biden and the Ukrainian government. This is this is prior to. I'm gonna have to make a whole video on that topic because when thinking about black nepotism, people trying to shame LeBron James for pulling strings to help Bronny out. I don't see enough people talking about the corruption in Ukraine between Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, and the deals that they were making when Joe Biden was vice president. That's nepotism, and that's illegal. That's ruining the country right now. They're draining the coffers of the American people. That's affecting all of us in a real tangible way. Hundreds of billions of dollars, which could be applied to American problems, the problems here domestically. See, and people getting excited about LeBron's nepotism. I think we need to keep the eye on the prize here. We need to get our priorities straight. But hey, that's just what I think. As always, be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you've made it this far on the video. Also, smash the subscribe button for more content just like this. We talk about a wide range of topics: news, politics, current events, hip hop, sports. Hey, bunch of different topics here. So come on back for more conversation. Catch you on the next one. Peace.